Hello everyone, welcome to Come Sit at My Table. We sure are happy to have you here for our video. I'm going to be very upfront with you and tell you that I feel a little silly doing a video for cinnamon toast. But Melissa and I were with friends several weeks ago, back in the winter, and the conversation, of course, came around to food. We were talking about foods we had eaten as children and things we grew up eating, and that's a favorite topic of mine. And I mentioned that my dad always fixed breakfast for our family. He was the one that got up first. He would come to the foot of the stairs and yell upstairs, "Hey, it's time to get out of bed. It's time to get ready for school." And by the time I got downstairs and got dressed and ready, he would have breakfast ready. And so I was telling these friends that in the winter, because it was several weeks ago and it was in the winter, and I was telling them that we ate a lot of oatmeal and a lot of cream of wheat and those type things in the winter because he wanted to give us something hot, and that we almost always had cinnamon toast with it. Well, one of our friends said, "What is cinnamon toast?" And I was just floored that he didn't know what cinnamon toast was. And so I explained to him how simple it was and what it was. And I said, "Do you mean to tell me you did not eat cinnamon toast growing up?" And he said no. He'd never had cinnamon toast. And another friend who was there said, "Oh my gosh, I grew up eating cinnamon toast, but I probably haven't had it in 50 years. So a bell went off, and I thought maybe we should just do a short, quick video showing people how we make cinnamon toast. Listen, it is so simple and so easy. And I know that 99% of you probably grew up eating cinnamon toast, and a lot of you probably still eat cinnamon toast. But I'm going to do a quick video just for those people who haven't. And I kind of have a feeling younger people who might be on our channel didn't eat cinnamon toast growing up. So let's talk about what we're going to use today to make cinnamon toast for Melissa and me to have with our oatmeal this morning. Of course, if you're going to have cinnamon toast, you have to have toast, and toast is bread. So we're going to use some bread that we have. Our very last video was a video for hot brown casserole, and we had this Texas toast for it. And I love Texas toast with cinnamon toast because it's a little more substantial, it's thicker. I just think it's better for cinnamon toast, but let me tell you, growing up, I didn't have didn't have Texas toast for cinnamon toast. We just had plain old white bread. So either works, but that's what we're using today. You're going to need some butter, and I'm just going to tell you that we never, ever measure it out when we make cinnamon toast. But I'm doing that today for the video, and I'm going to use 1 stick of butter. This is enough butter, sugar, cinnamon mixture to probably do, I'm going to say 6 pieces of toast, maybe 8 pieces of toast. I don't know, because normally I just make enough for us to have on ours. But I'm going to do a stick of butter. And what's left over, we're not going to use all of this today because Melissa and I are the only ones here, and we're only going to make 2 pieces of toast. But whatever butter, sugar, cinnamon mixture's left over, you can cover that. Put it in a bowl with a lid or cover it with plastic wrap and leave it right out on your counter. It does not need to be refrigerated, shouldn't be refrigerated, because it needs to be thin enough, soft enough for you to spread. So we're going to start with a stick of butter. I've got out half of a cup of sugar. I'm probably going to start with most of that in there. I don't know that I'm going to need all of that because normally I just scoop some out. But we're going to start with half a cup, and I don't know that I'll use it all. And then you need cinnamon. How much?
Lots. You need lots of cinnamon.
If it were me, just me eating it, I'd probably use about a teaspoon. Because Melissa's going to be eating it, I'm probably going to use 2 teaspoons, maybe even more, because Melissa loves cinnamon. So I'm probably going to put at least a couple of teaspoons in it today for her. Okay, that's it. Bread, butter, sugar, cinnamon. How easy is that?
You can always sprinkle a little extra cinnamon on top of yours if you like more.
Good idea, honey. Okay.
There are some people out there that are just like me, cinnamon lovers.
I do know that people who make cinnamon toast often mix up their butter, sugar, and cinnamon and just spread it right on their bread like this. I don't do that. I like for my bread to be toasted before I put the butter, sugar, cinnamon mixture on there. I want it toasted because I want it to be crunchy. I don't know that anybody else toasts their bread first. I'm sure that some of you do, but I always toast my bread. So I have moved our toaster oven over here. It's normally over there in the corner, but I've moved it over here so Melissa can see it. And I'm just going to put our bread in, turn on our toaster. I don't want it toasted really brown. I just want it toasted enough that there's some color on the top and bottom. So while that is toasting, we are going to go back over and mix up our butter. Yeah, I didn't think it was running. I thought I heard it cut off. We're going to mix up our butter, sugar, and cinnamon. Now, guys, this just could not be easier. I'm not going to put all this half cup sugar in there. I don't know that we need all of that, but I'm going to mix it up first and see. Okay, I just want to get that butter and sugar started a little bit. And then I'm going to throw my cinnamon in. My whole box of cinnamon.
Oh, there you go.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, that would be enough for me. But it's not going to be enough for somebody else. So there's 2 teaspoons. And you know what? If you want to put more than that, put more than that. If you don't want that much, don't put that much. There is no right or wrong way to make cinnamon toast. It's very easy to do, and there's no formula. You just make it. Just throw some butter, sugar, and cinnamon together, spread it on your toast, and put it back in. Now, well, that's another thing I probably need to tell. If you don't have a toaster oven, you can do this in the oven. That's where my dad always did it. He always just did it in the oven, and he did not toast our bread first. He just put it on bread and stuck it under the broiler in the oven.
What an amateur cook, huh?
Yeah. He was a great cook.
I'm just teasing.
But I do like my bread toasted. I like it a little crunchier than that. I don't want the bottom to be untoasted, I guess. So anyway, you can do it in the oven. And if you have a toaster, you can just toast it, put this on it, and then put it in the oven under the broiler. Just to, you want to broil it because you want this sugar and cinnamon to caramelize on top. It should have a crunch. Let me check my bread. Oh, it's doing fine. You do want a little bit of a crunch on top of it because you're caramelizing it. Okay. Here's what your sugar cinnamon mixture should look like. You know what? I think I am going to go ahead and put the rest of that sugar in because I guess why not? It's just going to make it a little sweeter. Now, listen, this is not health food. Check my bread again. Oh, we're almost there. This is not health food. This is comfort food. This is fill your belly food. Give you something warm to eat. Okay, I'm going to take my bread out. Now, right there is how I like it toasted. Okay? So I'm just going to lay that over there until I get all my sugar mixed in. And actually, I like for my bread to cool just a little bit. Normally, when I'm not making a video for this, I do the toast and then just let it sit for a while. Go do something else, come back and mix up my butter and sugar and cinnamon. Because you don't want the toast to be hot and your butter and sugar and cinnamon just melt and run off of it. Okay, so that's mixed up pretty good. Honey, is that enough cinnamon for you?
Oh, I think so.
Okay.
Looks wonderful. Smells good too, already.
Okay. As long as you're okay with that amount of cinnamon, we're okay. All right. Now, I'll get rid of my butter paper. Good. Our toast is a little warmer than what I'd like for it to be. but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So all we're going to do is take some of this and put it on one side. You just want it on the top. Now, I know people who smear this on and they put it on thick. It's just so thick on their bread that as it melts, it puddles on top of the bread. And I don't like that. I want it just to caramelize and make a crunch on top. You put it on as thick as you want, but I don't like it to be puddled. But let me tell you, you do want the entire top of your bread to be covered all the way to the edges because you want that crunch on the whole thing, okay? So there's one. Let's do the other one. You can see how much butter, sugar, and cinnamon we have here. That's going to do several pieces of toast. And again, you don't have to refrigerate it. It's just butter, sugar, and cinnamon. So there's no need to refrigerate it. Butter does not have to be refrigerated. So don't feel like you have to keep this in the refrigerator. In fact, it's better out of the refrigerator. Okay, so I've just got a thin layer. In fact, I think I've got just a little bit too much. I'm gonna scrape just a little off of it. Okay, and now I'm putting it on a pan because occasionally, as the butter melts, it will occasionally drip off the bread. And you don't want that in the bottom of your toaster oven or the bottom of your oven. So I just recommend that you put it on a little baking sheet. Now we have to switch our toaster oven over to broil so we can broil the top of it. And I'm going to turn it back on and I will not leave it. If you leave it, there's a good chance that you're going to burn it. Because it goes from what I consider being done and ready to eat to being burned around the edges that fast. So we're going to watch it. I'm going to keep my eye on it. And when it's ready, we'll come back and eat some cinnamon toast with you. I hope you can see how it's bubbling on top. That sugar and cinnamon is, actually it's just boiling. It's sitting there caramelizing. So that's when we know it's ready. Just going to turn off my toaster oven. Take this out. And look at that. Now that is perfection. That's just perfect cinnamon toast. Isn't that nice looking?
Smells good too.
Oh, it smells so good. Now, can we eat that right now?
It's a little
Absolutely not. It would burn you up. So we have to let it cool for just a few minutes. By the way, Melissa, I want you to come back in here if you don't care. I want to show something. There's not puddles of butter standing anywhere on this. If you get too much butter, you're going to, in the middle, have a puddle of butter that did not boil. It did not bubble and caramelize. So if you have a puddle that ends up in the middle of your bread, you know you put too much of that on there. And you don't need that. Just put a thin layer and keep your butter mixture because tomorrow you're going to want this again. Okay. I hope this doesn't burn me up. I'm going to check it before I give you a bite.
I can wait.
Oh, it's hot.
I know it's delicious.
Yep.
We'll come back in a minute.
Let's get our oatmeal started and then we'll come back and taste this. All right, our oatmeal is on the stove and this has cooled enough that we can eat it. Melissa, you ready?
I am.
Turn it around there for you. Listen. Did you hear that crunch? Listen to this. Tastes like my childhood.
Have you ever had those bagels from Panera that have the cinnamon crunch on top? It's kind of like what this is on top of it.
Yeah, it is. Very similar. That is so simple. It's just got a little bit of sweetness to it. And it's delicious. All right. We're going to finish our oatmeal and we're going to have breakfast.
Your kids and grandkids are going to love it.
Yeah, you're going to love it. I'm sure most of you grew up eating this. If you did, go to the comments at the very bottom of our page here at the bottom of the screen and just leave us a comment. Tell us if you ever ate cinnamon toast growing up. It's such a good treat. Remember that right below this video, there's a thumbs up button. That's the like button. We would appreciate you clicking that. The more people who click it, the more times YouTube will share our video. So we'd appreciate you going down there and clicking that like button. Also, there's a subscribe button right below the video. And if you've never subscribed to our channel, we invite you to click that button, the little notification bell beside of it, and the word all. That just joins you to our channel. Right below this video, there's a description box, and it's going to say cinnamon toast in that box. If you'll click anywhere in that box, it will expand. Melissa always puts the written recipe for you right there. And under that is our contact information. If you would like to send us a recipe or recipes for us to consider using on our channel, we welcome you to do that. And right under our mailing address is a link to the Amazon page where you can order our cookbook. We invite you to do that too if you haven't before. We appreciate those of you who have done that. Thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate it. We think you should go to the kitchen and fix yourself some cinnamon toast. It's delicious. And we want you to remember that you are always welcome to come sit at my table. Have a great day.